for now, let's just look at the ones on top. Okay, so the ones that say 2/4 time, 3/4 time, and 4/4 time. So if you look next to the numbers, there are quarter notes marked. So these tell you how many quarter notes are in each measure when there's this specific marking. So for 2/4 time, since it says 2, there's going to be 2 quarter notes per measure. And if it says 3/4 time, there's going to be 3 quarter notes per measure. And then 4/4 time, since there's 4 on top, it says 4 quarter notes per measure. Okay? Now we're going to talk about bar lines. Okay? So bar lines are lines that divide music into measures according to the time signature. So what we just talked about, right? So this is the example from the last slide. So these are the bar lines where the arrows are, right? The little lines that divide the line, each line into different little sections or little boxes. Those indicate the measures. So in each measure, remember, there can only be how many ever beats there are. That's said in a time signature, right? So if in the beginning the time signature is 2/4 time, each measure can only have 2 beats per measure. Or if it's divided into 3/4 time for the piece, each measure can only have 3 beats. And how we divide that is by measure lines, bar lines. Okay, so without the bar lines, music would be a mess. We can't really, it's going to be hard to differentiate.
We can't really see the measures because it's like the bar lines are invisible and we can't see them, so the piece would go crazy.
Yeah.
And the people who wants to play the piece has no idea what it is. What half notes and quarter notes are there?
All right, so we can still tell the note values, but it's important to make it organized, right? So when you read a book, they're divided into chapters, right? And each chapter tells a story. Each bar line
and sentences.
Yeah. So each bar line divides it into little measures. Okay. Does anyone have questions about this? Just raise your hand with the icon if you have any questions. No? Okay, let's move on. Okay, so now that we know what bar lines are and what time signature is, can someone tell me the time signature of this piece here?
Yeah.
Matthew, make sure don't blurt out, okay? So we need to give other people a chance. So I'm gonna call on someone. How about Suri? Suri, can you tell me what's the time signature of this little excerpt? Are you there? All right, how about...
I think no.
No? Okay, how about Albert? Can you tell me what's the time signature?
4/4.
4/4 time, good job. Okay, that was nice. Okay, does anyone have questions about this? All right, we can move on. All right, so we just talked about a single bar line, but there are also different types of bar lines, okay? So here's a little diagram here, and it tells you the different types of bar lines. So we have single bar lines, double bar line, start and repeat lines, and then we have an end bar line, final bar line.
What are double bar lines for?
I'm going to explain that, okay? Okay, so single bar lines divide the music into measures, right? We just talked about that, and it's according and by the time signature. Double bar lines divide music in the same way, but is less seen because double bar lines usually divide music into different sections. So, for example, if you're playing a piece that's very slow in the beginning, and then suddenly it changes to a faster tempo, we're going to put a double bar line there. So we can indicate that it's changed. So this can also not indicate only tempo, but also
You mean like the double bar line tells you that it's going faster
no.
or slower?
Matthew, make sure you don't blurt out because I'm gonna keep explaining, okay? So it doesn't just indicate tempo. It can also mean key change. Like if it changes from C major to G major, there can be a bar line there to indicate that. It can also change emotion. Like if it's sadder in the beginning, but then it becomes more happy. There might be a bar line, double bar line there. So anything special, they might put a double bar line there. Okay. All right. Albert has a question. Albert, do you have something to ask? No? All right, Matthew, do you have a question to ask?
Why are there two kinds of repeat lines, like start repeat and end repeat? What does that mean?
So when you start something, what do?
You start.
Yeah, and what do you do when you end? What do you do when you end it?
Just end.
Exactly, that's what it means. When it says start, you start from there, and when it says end, you end there.